more like Beavis and Butthead, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ready? Going live.
Brennan, you should speak into my microphone.
We are now live, gentlemen.
All right.
Fantastic.
So, are we live?
We are.
We are live.
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Yes.
I like to start every live stream
So we
like
should
that.
awkwardness.
Because of the very first time when they're like, we're not recording, I'm like, I think we are. I'm just going to talk anyway. And then it ended up being we were recording.
So everything that's happening now is happening now?
Yeah, but what happened to then?
Well, it's now.
Well, when will then be now?
I'm going to smack both of you.
Soon. Anyway, thank you guys for joining. We are Bomb in a Briefcase. This is our monthly live stream. Jordan will be joining us here momentarily as he continues to get the technical situation figured out. Hopefully, we don't sound too loud or too quiet. Everybody can give a nice mic check. That would be amazing. And if there's anybody that is watching us yet, go ahead and, do your thing. Post in the comments. We'll try to read it.
We have Zan and Rio with us right now. Thank you.
Thank you,
And
Zane.
we already EQ'd the mics, so we should all be at a level.
Cool. Everybody thinks that sounds good. Hopefully at home. So thanks, Zane. And who else? Who else did you say? I can't read from there.
Rhea?
All right. How do I get that into here? Can I get that on mine?
Go to Facebook.
All right.
For those who are watching, if you haven't already, I would really like it if you guys would please tell all of your friends and encourage everybody else that you know to tune into our live streams in the future.
Brandy just joined us.
It would be
Hi,
very
Brandy.
helpful. Hi, Brandy.
Hi, Brandy.
Thank you, Zane.
So what we thought we'd do today is a little live Q and A, followed by a meet and greet, or reverse that in order. It doesn't really matter. We can do it however. We have a little bit of fun for you on the live end of, I don't know what you call it,
The streaming software, the OBS.
Yeah, the OBS. Yeah, Jordan made us a little promo, so we're gonna demo that today for you.
It's been sitting on the back burner for a while, and we got to play with that. And
Yeah, it's
figure
perfect
out how to make it
opportunity.
work.
Do we want to start with that then?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I guess without further ado, just because we're going to kind of try to talk about who we are and where we came from and our first album, The Nickel Show, and this is kind of a demo for that. So if you wouldn't mind,
Yeah.
we'll just watch that now, and then we can kind of talk about it.
And for reference, Nick, the inlines that we have, all the mics, will feed in on top of the video. So
So we can talk about it while we're watching it.
Yeah, it's only about 3 minutes long. Yeah,
Alright.
I think it's 3 minutes even. But
Sure. All right. So this is kind of a sample of what the album is, and if you haven't heard any of it yet, this is your chance.
that was the wrong button, Jordan.
Here I am.
promise that I'll keep to you. In a line and I'll see you, baby. And we'll make sure that they finish you. The line, I'll be waiting. Let's start dark without all clear. Cause all the resources that were there. There's nothing left for your kids to share. Nothing left behind, not even the eye. My mail does not come in as a Gresham address. Thank you. Oh, nice scroll there, Jordan. Very good.
Yeah,
So that was pretty cool. I thought that was a good job. I don't know. Everybody who's watching, what do you guys think? Should we promo that? Should we release it?
We can place it on the YouTube.
On the YouTubes.
On the YouTubes.
All right. Well, so I guess we should continue to move forward. Let's talk about the album a little bit and kind of.
We should probably start with introductions.
Okay. All right. Well,
I mean, everybody
that's
in
even
here
Yeah.
pretty much knows who we are, but like we were talking about earlier, we hit about 150 views on our last stream, and we know that wasn't just people we know.
I don't
So-
know 150 people, so.
Yeah,
At
well,
least-
people are watching. I guess that's true. That's a very
Yeah.
good point, Red. So let's start. I guess that's it. Sorry. Thank you, guys. This is why we all work together here as a team. Let's start with introductions then. And Red, since you brought it up, why don't we go with Red first?
Oh man,
You
I was
walked
really
into
hoping
that
you'd
one.
start with Jordan first.
Brendan Kerrigan.
I'm Brendan Kerrigan. I'm the second guitarist. I primarily play rhythm, and I've been with these guys for 5 years now.
Yeah, 5 years. Yeah,
I am
sounds
the
right.
last member to join the band.
Yeah, that's right. That is true. And we begged this guy to come over for a while. And if you guys aren't already familiar, we all used to work together. These guys all still do work together, and so that's kind of how we know each other, really, for the most part. I know Adam, the drummer, for a long
Over
time,
20
many
years.
years. It's been a long time.
Over 20 years.
So that's kind of how we all kind of came together. As Adam worked there, and he got me there, and these guys were there, or at least Red was there when I got there, and then Jordan came on, and started on our team. So it was really cool. It kind of worked out really nice. And
Here, let me interject really quick. So Nick and we've known each other for a very long time, and our families are very much pretty close, and so we share the same kind of music, and so we've had a lot of involvement with trying to practice or trying to come up with something for music, and so in the beginning, the inception of all of this was Nick trying to get me to play the drums and him play the bass to try to come up with something, or just to fool around, because we were hanging out all the time. And when he heard me playing the drums, bless his heart, must have saw something in me, because I didn't know shit about playing, or very little. But pretty soon it became more and more like, yeah, we should actually get more musicians, or in and playing around. And so we had a lot of different trials and tribulations, if you will, with different musicians. And the musicians that we had were, they're pretty good, but it just didn't pan out until Jordan started working with us at Lamb, and gave his insight about what his music experience was, and so we brought him along, and after that it was.
I don't know. You're right about that, but you're kind of. It was almost like like you and I started playing, right? And I don't know if I was even working there yet, you know, and so it was just us making some noise. And then I think I started working there, and it was still just us making some noise. But every week we tried to just invite everybody.
Right.
And
right,
we
right,
just,
yes,
everybody
yes.
would come out, and we would all open mic, open jam, and anybody who wanted to come could be here and
We
make
wanted to
noise
get
and-
something started, yeah.
yeah, and then, you know, it just, that was the idea, though. It was like whoever wanted to keep coming out and whoever kept showing up would. And so we had our group. We already had a group before Jordan came around. You know, we had a couple guys that were here every week, and, you know, we kind of tried to get some stuff going. And then, yeah, he started working there. And the first thing I remember is Kevin Lalonde saying, "Oh, we got a guitar player. He plays guitar. I don't know. I think he was responsible for sticking him with us." Oh, really good. He knew it. Oh, really, guitar player. Oh, okay.
Right.
Let's get him over. Red's played guitar the whole time. He didn't say nothing. He wasn't coming around. He was just doing his thing.
You know what's really funny about this is the fact that
he was there the whole time.
For a couple of years, we had invited Red over to my house. I don't know how many times. Yeah, I'll make it over. Yeah, I'll make it over. Yeah, I'll make it over. And we kept trying to ask him to come over until finally, after Jordan started playing with us, he came over one time and it's like, oh, okay.
But
all
that
right.
was it, too. Like,
Right.
once he started playing, I'm like, okay, I think we found that guy.
Right,
So
right.
We got to make this fucker stay.
Yeah. So
So
that was
that's
kind
right.
of
Yeah, 5 years now, you think?
Yeah.
At least I started in 2016. So
yeah.
Yeah, and
okay.
the video
So-
that we did not play tonight from 2016 is the three of you guys and Sully's cab sitting in the background, which just happens to be the cab that I play now
Oh, yeah.
because he sold it to me.
Yeah, Zach was coming out. I don't know if Zach, if you ever see this, whatever. What up, dude? We miss you, bud. Say hi.
Zach?
Absolutely.
You're my PBR drinking buddy, man. What the fuck happened to you? Hope you're living large in Idaho. But yeah, no, it was through trials and tribulations, basically, of musicians coming together and trying to collaborate on something until we got something. And I remember, for those out there who may be wondering why we are called Bomb in a Briefcase, no other reason other than the fact that we were spouting off several different names, and I came up with Bomb in a Briefcase just out of left field. And you know, Nick is kind of like one of those guys who, it has to flow, it has to make sense, it has to, you know, he didn't like numbers in the band because I like short and sweet. You know, I'm influenced by Clutch or Floater or
Tool.
You know, Ween, Tool, you know, those one name bands, but he has to have, you know, something else in the name and stuff. So I don't know, I came up with Bomb in a Briefcase. He's like, that's it.
I would just like to note that was after about like 10 or 15 minutes of just saying random names. It
Yeah,
basically
absolutely.
devolved into just saying random words at one point, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, I think we had a couple of names. We were Mola Rum for a minute. We had some names worked out.
Sandra's Dusk,
Sandra's
Tuesdays,
Dusk, yeah.
Tuesdays at 5.
Tuesday at 5, yeah. So, I mean, you know, even I think Technex at one point.
Technex,
We
yeah.
were playing out at Squashed Frog Studios out in
Rotten
Vernonia. Oh, yeah, Rotten Frog, thank you, yeah. And so,
But,
I mean,
yeah.
and I think we were just having a conversation. We were all sitting around viewing songs that we had written while we were waiting for our current situation to move forward. And I think some of the members in the band at that time weren't as dedicated as we thought they should be. And, you know, so your exact phrasing was, you know, I think a lot of these songs that haven't been heard by anybody yet in the band, once they finally hear them, it's going to kind of be like a bomb in a briefcase. That's it. What's it? That's it. Bomb in a Briefcase. That's going to be the band name. What? Okay. Right. And I'm pleasantly surprised at the response we get from when you say Bomb in a Briefcase, and people, you know, you guys travel?
It's edgy.
Do you travel with that?
Edgy,
I don't know.
you
Like it's
and
that's what I love it every time. You know, the fact that people are like, oh, I don't know. Exactly.
yeah. So, and that kind of thwarted us to start obviously writing songs and, creating the Nickel Show, which, Nick, that's kind of your baby. That's kind of your baby.
Let's finish
You
with
are
the
one who-
introductions
Yeah, let's-
first.
What?
Let's finish with
so
the
that's how we met
introductions
Red,
first.
and we met Adam next because he's sitting next on the couch.
We never finished all the introductions. We kind of
Okay.
Oh, did I just jump?
So Red, well, we were still
jumped the
introducing
shark a
Red.
little bit,
Oh,
but that's
jumped the
okay.
gun. I
Oh,
apologize.
I'm good.
So that's how
welcome.
we met Red, and then we kind of met Adam.
Hey, I'm Adam.
So
Adam Smith, he's the drummer.
I'm the drummer. I have very little experience with drumming. Everything that I've been trying to do is more or less self-taught.
How long have you been playing?
I honestly, it's really just been 6 years, 7 years straight. Although I've tooled around with drums, many times before in the past. So percussively, I understand
Oh, Sean Harmon.
how to how
Welcome,
a
Sean.
song works. But technically, I've had to learn how to play and to make things work in an actual band. So, yeah. That
So better than chicken in a paper bag is something Zane said, and Bomber Briefcase said we wished that one would be. We had that when we were deciding names. Now I have.
Sean wants to know
Now I
when the
have the
merch is
song
dropping.
"Chicken and Chips" stuck in my head because of that. Thanks, Zane. Sean says chicken in a paper bag merch better drop soon.
chicken in a paper bag.
Yeah.
Well,
now we're gonna have to make some chicken and paper.
yeah,
bag
we're gonna
merch.
have to do a chicken in a paper bag.
Can
just
we
just off
settle on
this
a
live
song?
stream.
We settle on a song.
I think it'll just be an inside joke. It'll just be chicken in a paper bag on a shirt.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
unless you've
very-
watched this, you wouldn't understand what.
Very, very similar to Howard the West was one, or Hang On Harrison.
Oh, right. Red.
okay.
When I first met Red, he actually had a T-shirt design business, and he was making band name shirts for bands that didn't exist. It was the best idea ever. I wish I had some of those shirts.
Yeah, it was called "It's Not a Band," and yeah, we all kinds of
Howard
stuff.
the West was
I was
one.
just doing graphic design in my spare time for fun, and we at that point in time we worked with a lot of people who were musicians or were really well versed in music or the music industry, and really blessed to work with a lot of people. And there were a lot of inside jokes involving bands, and we just kind of ran with it. And at one point there was a running list of like 30 bands. The one that always stuck with me is I Keep My Friends' Heads in the Shoe Boxes. That was like the one that if always thinking back to that list, that's the one I can think of.
I miss those times. Those were good times. So yeah, so I mean, we'll kind of keep rolling through here back and forth. But
Nick,
Adam,
introduce yourself.
that was your drummer deal, and
Yeah,
he kind of started drumming, and then I kind of bumped back into Adam. I've been playing bass. I'm Nick Messina, by the way, if you guys all don't know. I've been playing bass for I don't even know, probably preteen. I actually started with guitar. My very first guitar ever. I bought this from a girl who tried to learn and didn't want to play anymore. I was in junior high. I think it was 7th grade. And I bought a baby blue Fender Stratocaster. And it was gorgeous. Had the whammy bar on it. It was the best. And part of what made me want that was one of my favorite bands at that time was Green Day. Billy Joe had that baby blue Fender Strat. He had stickers all over it, and he was punk rock, and I just thought that was the coolest, right? I wanted to be a punk rock. That's what I wanted. So I was lucky that it happened to be a baby blue Fender Strat that I found, and that was my first guitar, and I learned to play things like Green Day and Nirvana and Metallica, and those were the kind of, power chords. It was all power chords and some strumming. The Beatles were a huge influence for me. I was playing like Blackbird, learning some strumming for that. And my older brother, he plays bass. And I just kind of, I got introduced through that. I have always liked bass. It just kind of was one of those things. So I traded the Strat, and I think actually, I take that back. I had that Strat for a while. I ended up selling it, and then my best friend at the time, growing up, my life brother, my brother from another mother, Mike Pritchard, he bought me my first bass. It was a red Yamaha.
Happy birthday, Mike.
Happy
It is
birthday.
actually
Happy
Mike's
birthday,
It's
Mike,
Mike's
by the
birthday
way.
today. That's right. Thank you.
Mr. Mike Pritchard,
Bring
I
that
hope
up,
that you are spending your day exactly how you want to.
He's probably at work right now.
I heard he got cake today, though. That's important. Everybody needs cake on their birthday. So, love you, Mike. So thank you very much for buying that bass for me, because that's what started everything. And Mike played guitar, and him and I started a band. We called it Dogworm, from the movie House. So yeah, that was a good movie. But there's a little dogworm creature in there, and horror movie. It was great, classic. And we played a lot of punk rock stuff, and I played bass, and that's what I started, and I still have that bass. It's somewhere over there, but yeah, man. And then, so I went into the Navy eventually and shipped out. I started a band in the Navy. I played bass there, and I started singing. That's when I started singing playing bass. And when I got out of the Navy, while I was in, I ended up lucky enough to start acquiring music equipment. So I had, oh man, we had so much stuff. I had like a giant mixer. I bought a full Yamaha drum set in Dubai. We pulled up, a ship pulled up, and our band they decided we're going to do a battle of the bands in the sandbox in Dubai. And so there was 2 other bands on our ship at the time playing, and our band was going to play. We didn't have a full drum set. So the minute they let us hit port, we went out to some crazy music store, and I spent like $2,000 on this Yamaha stage custom drum set. And we came back, and we played Battle of the Bands. It was amazing. And so that was my set. And then when I got out of the Navy, I hadn't talked to this guy in a while. I knew him before I joined. Then I said, hey, guess what, man? I got a drum set. And he's like, I play drums. And so we brought that set over, and that was kind of it, man. We just kind of started making noise and try to get as many people involved as possible. And started Mola Rum. It was a drum and bass project, Mola Rum. I think we might still have something to release out of that.
For those who are unaware, Mola Rum, if you're not a movie fan, if you haven't seen Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Mola Rum is the villain. We really love our pop culture, and so thought it was kind of fun to take that name from there.
Mola Rum, shut the day.
Karima, shut
Om
the
Nom
day.
Shabai, Om Nom Shabai. Oh, it's such a good movie. If you haven't seen it, please, it's a good one to watch.
Jordan.
Hi.
So yeah, Jordan Oster. Let's move on. Jordan Oster.
I'm Jordan Oster.
We told you how we met. How long you been playing guitar?
Yeah. So I've been playing guitar for 15 years now. I started playing in January of 2007. Fun fact, guitar was not the very first musical instrument I played.
Okay, do tell.
I started playing music in the 5th grade, and I played the clarinet for a year because my goal was to play the saxophone. And my brother's trumpet teacher, who was coolest old man I've ever met, he said that a great way to start to learn how to play the saxophone is actually play the clarinet first. It's a little easier. You don't have to have as much breath power behind you. So started with that, and I took a year of private lessons from him, Mr. Lesser. That was his name. And then after a year of playing clarinet, I transferred into saxophone and played saxophone for 2 years. Decided it wasn't really for me, and I didn't play a musical instrument until January of my senior year in high school, 2007, and bought my first guitar from Blue Dot Guitars in Oregon City. It was actually a black Stratocaster off-brand. It was a Quart, but it was basically Strat copy. And started teaching myself Metallica riffs, and decided that wasn't metal enough. My guitar wasn't metal enough, so I actually bought and replaced the bridge pickup, with a mini Screamin' Demon. So it's a humbucker pickup that fit into a single coil spot. Of course, it didn't fit real nice, so I had to modify the pickguard a little bit, but successfully did that. And then my first couple of years in college, I was actually studying chemical engineering, and didn't take my guitar with me at the time 'cause I just didn't know if I was really gonna play it, whatever. And then after like the first semester, I'm like, nah, I need my guitar back. So brought it with me and took some casual lessons from a buddy of mine in a different dorm and just kept playing. And then I learned about the music technology program at Montana State. Shout out to Montana State. And Montana
go
State
there.
Bobcats.
Mike went to Missoula for a while, I think.
You go to
Or
Missoula
Bozeman, maybe Bozeman.
Well, Bozeman's Montana
Yeah.
State, yeah.
Yeah, Montana State. Yeah.
And I learned about the music tech program because I knew that I wanted to play electric guitar, more focused on metal. And of course, there's no like metal guitar music degree, so I ended up.
Of course not.
Of course
Right.
not. Which I don't know. I disagree with that. There should be, but you know.
Maybe there is now. You don't know. It's been a while, probably.
That's true. Maybe at a different school. Anyway, I learned about music tech, and I thought that was really cool too, because huge into the details. I'm a very detail-oriented person, so
Yes, he is.
mixing is definitely right up my alley.
Yeah, thankfully for us, man, fucking that you are into mixing and recording and all of that, because that's kind of been that's really how we are who we are now is kind of through your experience. And so you graduated, right? You got a degree?
Graduated with my bachelor's in music technology in 2013, moved back home here. Worked at JCPenney's for 2 or 3 years. That was awful.
Pennies.
No shout out to JCPenney's. That place is terrible. It used to be great. Now it's terrible. And then actually, so a buddy of mine that I used to work with Penny's at actually got a job at Lamb Research first. And he's like, dude, you should apply, blah blah blah. I'm like,
Okay.
I don't know. I'm pretty comfy here. He's like, no, you should apply. It's great. They pay great. All this cool stuff. I'm like, well, Penny's sucks. So all right, can't be any worse than Penny's. And he left and went and did that. And I think I only saw him once again after that because he ended up getting a job in the warehouse. Pretty sure on a different shift. Araya. Sorry. To actually answer your questions, Penny's, not all of the Penny's closed. The one in Clackamas Town Center, which I worked at, is still open, and it is still terrible. It has not changed.
Consistency is key, right?
It's true. It's true. Quick side story. My grandfather used to work for JCPenney's back in like the 60s and 70s, back when JCPenney's was actually good.
Funny.
And I received a chair from my parents that apparently was bought from JCPenney's back in the 70s, and that is my favorite chair in my entire house.
Still to this day.
Still to this day.
Nice.
It's an amazing chair.
It's a good
Anyway,
story.
side story done. So yeah, I just out of sheer dumb luck, I ended up with Nick here as my trainer.
I'm telling you, I think it was Kevin Lalonde. You must have. Did you say I play guitar in your interview, or?
I'm sure that I did at some point. Well, I'm sure that I mentioned that I had a bachelor's degree in music technology.
Oh, maybe that might have been it. Yeah.
And so, but it was Jacob Hamilton who interviewed me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jacob.
And
Yeah, well, Adam and I were already we were just sucking people into our world left and right, who played music. Anybody we could find that, you go, right. So every team meeting we had, anybody plays music,
right?
So the word was already out, when you started there. So that was cool.
True.
So we got lucky.
Well, like I said, it helps that you were my trainer, so that definitely helped.
Right.
So yeah, and then I started.
What are you laughing
coming
about,
out.
Brendan?
She's laughing at Sean Burke. I'm
Welcome,
refusing
Sean.
to return to.
Welcome.
You're right, Zane. They were like Sears back in the day. Sean, I'm purposely ignoring you. Sean Burke, not Harmon. So yeah, I came over once and it was mildly awkward because there was too many people there, if I remember correctly. Because
I was drunk and I sat on his lap.
Yeah,
that's
it was a
true
lot of
too.
party nights.
That's true.
I was drunk and I sat on his lap outside of just meeting him from work, and he came over,
right,
and
I forgot about the early times.
And,
we could have totally scared him away. So I'm glad that you weren't
It's,
timid.
it's a good thing I'm used to awkward people.
my friendly nature said, "Hey, you know what? That looks like a very comfortable spot."
Well, I think
He looks like a chair.
Nick and Adam wrestled on the garage floor too that first night.
I believe
That
Yeah,
that was the thing.
probably
us.
happened.
You know what's funny is I
wrestled
was
a lot
actually
back
just
in those
thinking about
days.
that
I forgot about that, yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah, we were really into jujitsu and stuff. We would practice just on the cement.
Yeah.
I wake up the next day, my knees and elbows were all like bloody, and scabbed up, and I'm like, because we
pretty
were
bad.
wrestling too much.
Uh,
And Coleman.
so yeah.
Anyways,
And then I just ended up coming back and just I mean my initial focus because of the people there were other people at that time and the group was kind of going in a different direction. And so I was like, "Meh, I don't know if I'm completely on board with the music that's being played right now, but I'll record. I don't care. Like that's my
yeah.
thing.
sure.
Like
Okay.
I'll just sit here and record you guys if you guys want, because I don't know. I mean, hopefully it was fairly obvious, but I said I started playing guitar by teaching myself Metallica riffs, and I'm a huge metalhead. I love Slipknot, Korn, Metallica. I think I'm even wearing a Korn shirt underneath my 6 layers.
I'm sure you are.
I usually do. It's true. I usually do. Megadeth, Intronaut, Ginger, all sorts of metal. So and with the person you were playing with at that time, they were much more softer. So I'm like, you know what? I don't even need to play. I'll just record. And then that person just kind of slowly showed up less and less and less. So the three of us started playing more, and then we realized we didn't want to do that. We wanted to do this, which is where Bomb in a Briefcase slowly started. Was more punk, metal-oriented, aggressive music. So
Well, you're right. It was kind of a strange transition because for forever, man. Like I'm not a singer, right? Like I didn't sing, and we went through several singers, right? We had guys that could sing and had their own songs, and we tried to play, what they had written, and like what you're saying, it just kind of didn't fit. And and just like every singer, right? They show up when they want to, and
right.
so the rest of the band was just kind of sitting around, and we would always write stuff and play stuff, and I didn't sing, right? But I'd try because as the bass player, I feel like a support singer is at least my minimal job. And you guys really encouraged me to push forward and like become the lead singer, and that's something I never thought that I would do. I mean, I enjoyed musicals, and I did singing in high school and theater and stuff like that, but it wasn't any kind of lead stuff, really, So luckily, at the very least, thankful to my choir teacher that I had some kind of basic foundation and learning how to go from there. But yeah, man. So that's probably it. That's us. So I mean, we started the foundations of the Nickel Show at that time too.
Oh yeah.
You know, the first 2 or 3 songs we ever wrote was the Nickel Show, All About Me, Kill and Fry. Those were like our first 3 songs.
Yep.
Simple
Kill and
and
Fry.
punk rock and just powerful and.
Kill and Fry was actually kind of one of those inceptions that happened while at Rotten Frog at Donnie's house.
Donnie,
And-
yeah, we should say their names. I mean, we love you,
yeah,
Donnie,
yeah,
and we love
absolutely.
what he brought to the table. and
Absolutely.
I do miss Donnie too. He's just out in Vernonia. It's a Vernonia land that's so far away, and it was.
We played out
rough.
there
We
for a
drive
little
like an
bit
hour and a half
trying to make
go to
something
band
happen.
practice.
It didn't happen, but that's okay. Yeah, no, but the Nickel Show just was more Nick's baby though. Nick
Absolutely.
was kind of like the singer or the songwriter for that album because we certainly didn't have anything to kind of we were just like, okay, well, as a baby band and trying to figure out where we were and what we were trying to do, Nick was like, well, I've got these songs that I've been kind of working on, and this is what I've been doing and stuff, and we're like, sure, let's go
Yeah,
along with it.
We
you
needed
know?
material, so I just kept writing. I go home
Right.
every night and write.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just the 3 of us after Donnie kind of was, decided he couldn't. He had his new job or something. I can't remember now.
His wife was,
She got in a car accident, I think. And he had
and
to stay home for it.
yeah,
It
and so
was terrible, but So it was the three of us, and I think as we were writing, we just kind of all mutually decided, nah, I think we need one more guitar player.
Right.
And I already was like, what about Red? Red plays guitar. What about Red? Let's get him over here. Luckily, he came over, and so that's it. Once he started playing, and the four of us, and that was it, man. And I started writing based off of thinking about what the three of these guys would do, and just kind of continue to write this album as it went out.
Do you want to go through a rundown of the album and songs at all, or do you want to?
We could definitely do that. I mean, so the idea of the song, the idea of the Nickel Show album itself was a kind of, as we were writing, we kind of noticed that the songs that we were writing had a theme and they kind of fit together. And in my acting experience, I liked a lot of improv and call and response and bringing things back and bringing it around again. And so we noticed that the album itself, as we were writing songs, kind of felt more like a complete story,
Right. Right.
And so that's how we built it, I think. And we're building music videos right now to kind of help tell that story a little more, visualize it more. But the Nickel Show is kind of a call to everyone to come and see our country at the time. So let me give you a little backstory. Is when I first started, during the time when we were first writing the album and when I was writing these songs, was the presidential election, right? And so Obama ran 8 years, couldn't run anymore, and the Republicans were pushing real hard with all these candidates. I think there was like 16 candidates at the time, and every single one of them had some kind of major issue wrong with them, and so they were dropping like flies, and it just felt like, oh man, look at all these people that we're putting on display. Come and look at our problems, America. Look at what we've got. And I think Trump was, at the time, he was running, and nobody thought Trump would. They're like, oh my God, look at all these people throwing their hands in the race. And so I just felt like we had a lot of issues to discuss in our country, and the election and everything was part of it. So that's what birthed the Nickel Show, was coming down and see what we've got for you. We've got a lot of oddities. We've got freaks on display. And, at the time, all of the other countries were kind of like, oh, my gosh, what's going on, America? What are you doing? And it felt like we were this sideshow, this circus, so to speak. So All About Me rolls into our problem with a lot of this is a problem everywhere in the world, but, it happens here too, where people are kind of addicted to their cell phones, and they're focused basically solely on themselves, and they don't really see anything else around. They're just kind of out and about, and I'm sure everybody's bumped into a person on their phone while they're driving, and they're going, 10 miles an hour in a 35, and you just, what's going on? So that's what All About Me is about. It's kind of a perspective from that person. Kill and Fry. Dimebag Darrell, rest in peace. We just had his anniversary not too long ago. There's just too many people taking guns and shooting at public. It's basically a perspective on that. And Kill and Fry are a couple of characters that decided to do that, and we wrote a song in their perspective. Moving down the list, The Raven Master. The Raven Master is a little special to me. I was in the military. I served. And my experience in that time, I got to see a lot of things. And I got to serve during a time of war. So I got to see that side of life. And that's kind of what this is about. Sign your life on the line. And, so that's what that's about. The military, the current military situation. And if anybody's seen a recruiter or talked to a recruiter, they know how they kind of suck you in and get you to join and everything. And that's kind of what my experience felt like. And
I want to say to all the veterans out there that would be watching this, thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Cheers. So that song's to you guys. So thank you, brothers. The Wizard of Oz. that's pretty much directly related to what I was watching as far as the RNC as it was developing. I just felt like, the things that they were saying and everybody was cheering, and behind their curtain, though, they were doing some other things that it didn't seem like anybody was noticing. So we're more to come with that on our music video.
Sure.
I think you'll understand a little more what I mean. The price? So, and I'm still watching this, by the way.
This is directly related to Nick's obsession.
I was obsessed for a long time. We would
Absolutely.
have parties. And thank you, everybody, to come to those Walking Dead parties.
Listen.
I would regularly weekly host Walking Dead parties, and my wife would make zombie cookies, and we would have drinks and everything, and all the people from work would come, and we'd all watch the Walking Dead episode.
I want to add to
week.
this. Sorry, I want to add to this after you, but I don't want to keep going with because you have a good cadence with the breakdown of each song.
Sure,
but
sure.
it took me a long time to watch The Walking Dead. I finally did it, and I can't believe it took me this long to watch it. So, anyways,
I'm mad that you
And
were
you're
having these
pleasantly
parties.
surprised.
and
I am very
there
pleasantly
were
surprised,
cookies,
yes,
and I
yes.
wasn't invited. I mean, look at me. Food,
Anyways.
like,
With the zombie cookies, you have to
I
eat
could
them
care
fast.
less
They'll
about
get
the
up in
show.
one
this is
way.
less about Walking Dead and more about the song, The Price. So please keep going.
like food.
No, well, so, it was a big part of my 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, so 11 seasons finally, right? I think we did that for almost 8 years. We did Walking Dead parties and hosts, and that's what the price is about. It's just kind of a hat tip to that storyline, and the first part of the song is from the survivor's perspective, and then the survivor doesn't survive. And then the second half of the song is from the zombie's perspective. And so that's how we tell it. Sunrise is a... Naya says, I made him watch it, y'all. So
Yes,
Y'all.
my
So
daughter
thank
is
you
the
to
one that
Naya
got me
for
involved
getting
in
at him.
Walking Dead. Dad, we should watch this show. I said, I'm not really interested in watching this, but if you turn it on, sure, I'll be there. I'll watch it. And she started watching it, and lo and behold, I was watching it, and now I am 10 seasons in, and the 11th
Yeah.
season I have to
binged
wait.
it. In like 2 months, binged all 10 years
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the
yeah.
show.
It starts with one cigarette.
So, and I said, Naya, have you started watching, or what season are you on? She's like, I'm still on season 1. I'm like,
Here we go. Here we go.
freaking kid, are you kidding me?
Is it Araya?
Yeah.
Araya says, I have never seen a full episode of The Walking Dead. I have yet to want to. Now listen, so this is the thing about The Walking Dead is I'm sure everybody's gotten trailers and previews and things, and it's a show to grow on. And so we were watching it one episode at a time, right? And every episode, you're on the hook. Oh, who's going to die next? We'd take polls. We'd take bets over who was going to die, right? We'd have all the characters all lined up on a
Fucking
little
great
dry
show.
erase
Excuse
board.
my
and-
language. It's a great show.
It's a great show, right? And so, but if you can binge through it, that's even better, right? And that's what was to us every week, one episode, every week, one episode for 8 years. It was rough. It was hard to do. So if you can come in and just watch it, just hear me out. Every single season kind of has a different feel, a different theme. Like it changes. It's very.
It's less about zombies and more about the psychology or the psychological effects of
It's
what it would
mostly
be
about
in
the
a
people,
post-apocalyptic environment. So
It's worth it. It's worth a watch. And so that's what that song is my tribute to that. The next song on the album, Sunrise, is just about suicide, If we could put the suicide hotline number down on the TV, we would. But you can look it up. And it's a real problem. So please, if you think this is an issue in your life, that's what the song is about. Maybe it'll relate to you and you might get some.
for those who are, struggling with depression and don't have anybody to talk to, please, 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 please do reach out to somebody who can talk to you. I know from experience, at least, I have a close family member who took their own life. So, and I wish that they would have taken the time to reach out. So, yeah.
Right. Right. That's yeah. Point well said. That's what that song's about. Trying to just spread awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, Junkie Jack. Okay, Junkie Jack. So this song's got a lot of history, right? We grew this song over.
Let's talk
Over
about
a long
Junkie Jack
time.
there, Red. Red is the one that came up with the main hook for that, by the way.
So Nick and I, well, we were all standing in the garage at Center Court in the first place we played, and I wasn't sleeping maybe more than 3 hours a night, and I was living off of caffeine pills and Red Bulls. And we're standing in the garage smoking cigarettes, and I chewed up 2 or 3 caffeine pills, and I slammed a Red Bull, and lit a cigarette. And we're standing around and we're talking, and we're just talking about stories about growing up and life and everything else. And we were talking about drugs, and we finally, it's like, let's get to it. And we walk in, and I turn the cab on, and I grab my guitar, and I pull this riff out of my ass, literally out of nowhere, and the whole thing's off time, and it just started. We had one rough recording of that, and it took us like a year and a half to manage to reconstruct what we did that night, maybe even longer than that. And we tried over and over and over again to revisit that, and lo and behold, the nightmare that was turned into Junkie Jack.
So, I mean, just to back up a little bit, Red would always give us the news of the night, right? Every week we would play, and Red always had a little news that he would tell us. And so each week we would kind of talk about just weird off-the-wall topics. And I think that's kind of part of where the song came from is I always pregame. Drinking my beers and whatnot before the show, before we play, before we rehearse, and Red was giving us his news, his weekly recap of the news, and we talked kind of about like tinfoil bolts and lighters and just like all the topics really that you hear in the song, and I had thrown my 2 cents in how I was out on a nature walk with my family, and the Max goes right through this park that we walk past. And when you walk to where the Max stop train tracks are, it goes through a park, right? So it's not like people are supposed to be there. So there's a bunch of just like heroin needles just all over the ground. Just people just were using up, just laying there hanging out next to the train tracks. Like, this is where I'm hanging out at the park, and shooting up the heroin and just throwing the needles down. And, in my mind, maybe they hopped the train. I don't know. So it just all kind of accumulated after the story hour, and then when Red started playing that little riff, I just started freestyling, and that's where that song came from. So it's really kind of just off the top of my head, really. It's a fun one.
It's probably one of my favorite songs to play.
One of our more popular ones too.
Percussively,
yeah.
it's a lot of hi-hat. It's a lot of hi-hat.
It's true.
So
Kind of ironic. Hi hat.
No.
It really kind of, I try to embody the sound of a train on it. So
Jordan, you kill me, man. And as that in our segue, the next song is The Line, and that's a song about death.
Glad someone enjoys my terrible jokes.
Sure.
I didn't hear it, and it's not important, so it's cool.
It's not. It's really not. Just continue on with the line.
No, it's the Line, yeah. So that's the next song on the album, and that's just kind of people who like to push the line and the boundaries, and all those adrenaline junkies out there that like to get their kicks by seeing if that's the last chance at being alive from the little stunt they're pulling, and it's kind of what the song's about, and the idea that Death himself, the Grim Reaper, is just watching. He loves X Games. He's just
waiting.
Okay, not yet. He's gonna go. Okay.
Kind of reminds me
I'm
of
watching now.
kind of reminds me of the story of I don't know if the guy in China or wherever he was, but he was the YouTuber who liked to hang off of tall buildings.
yeah, parkour.
Yeah, he liked to hang off of tall buildings, and actually he lost his grip and fell to his death. I mean, that's kind of the same.
And Death was like,
Yep.
all right, here I come. Right, so it's perspective of Death.
Right.
You get out of line, and I'll see you, baby. That's Death telling you, I'm waiting for you, man. So that's the line. Next song, Slaughterhouse. Love that song, Slaughterhouse.
I love playing that song.
So
too.
this is kind of the song, right? That kind of describes America, describes our people, all of the world, really, the whole planet, right? We're just this big machine, and corporate greed is causing us to pollute the planet and destroy everything and block out the sun and kill the air, and there's not going to be anything left for our kids by the time we're done just enjoying what we got. And that's what Slaughterhouse is about, man. Like, wake the fuck up.
Is Burke still on?
I can't tell.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't see a list of who exactly is watching.
Okay, Burke, if you're still on, man, when you were coming over to Sandra Court, we were still in the works of trying to write Slaughterhouse, and I remember the day specifically where, man, I was struggling with that song so much, and I was getting pissed off. I was getting very pissed off because I couldn't fucking figure it
It
out.
was pretty progressive when we were writing it.
And
For us.
you have no, other than the fact that you were there, you have no, like, there's nothing that like decided how I was going with it. But I just remember that time that I was so pissed off that I couldn't fucking figure it out, and for the life of me, or whatever, the timing of it, and it kind of.
What did Burke do? Kick you in the nuts and then you figured it out?
What's that?
What did Burke do? Kick you in the nuts and then you figured it out?
No, it was humility, really, that kind of made me like
just him
strive.
being there.
Yeah, it was just
made
strive
you push through it.
to push through it and figure it out.
I do miss Burke, by the way. Love you, buddy.
Yeah, I love you too, man. I miss you. I hope that you're doing all right. So, but no, Slaughterhouse though. Yeah, I had to really, really, really push through that because for whatever reason in my head, and that was, I mean, I'm still learning things, but that was one of those things where I had to like really kind of figure out the timing of how as simple as that song is, at least for me.
A lot of pauses, a lot of timing things.
So I just remember that. So
We do have 2 questions, but I kind of want to. We're almost done. We got one more song left, so
Yeah, we can go to
we'll answer them at
questions
the
right
very
after.
end.
So the last song, Mountain King, just kind of a reflection of what's going to happen to us. There's a lot of people that live up in the mountains right now, and those guys, they don't have cell phones, they don't have internet, they don't have TV. Their hobbies are killing things and eating it. You know what I mean? They know where to get water fresh. They don't even boil the water. They're a mountain, right? Mountain runoff is amazing, right? Springs and everything.
when all is done and failed and everything, you're gonna go up there.
They're going to be the kings, right?
Yeah.
Like when we've done polluted and everything's flooded over and everything's mudslided and everything's just disgusting and garbage, way up in the top in the mountains, there's some people that are just going to be like, we're not affected by any of this. And we're going to be up there going, can we live up here now? And it's their call, really. Like that's their whole land. If they didn't want us up there, they don't have to let us be there. And I think a lot of that lifestyle is going to become the new lifestyle. So that's kind of what the song's about. Is once everything we have done has been gone and wiped out, we're going to move up to the mountains, and they're going to be the ones in charge. So that's the album, really.
Nice.
That's kind of my idea. And let's open it up to questions. You say we got some?
First question comes from Naya Smith. Thank you, Naya, for your question. We will treat it with the respect you intended it to. All right. So, what's your guys' favorite color? Starting with Brendan.
What?
Yes, your daughter wants to know what our favorite colors are.
Okay.
I enjoy the smell of purple.
It's
You're welcome.
yeah. So Jordan has a bad habit of titling.
It is an amazing habit.
It is an amazing habit, but Jordan has a bad habit of titling stems, things that we pull out of jams,
Random jams.
and he'll pull things out every week when we get together. We live record, whether it's practice or whatever we're doing. We're always recording, and it always allows us to go back. Jordan spends a lot of time reviewing, mixing down, and putting a lot of time into that. And the most recent one was purple,
The smell of purple.
We lost a track that we were trying to go back for quite a while, and we found it under the title of Rusty Skid Marks and Tin Underwear.
It's one of my favorites.
Another favorite color of mine.
That was a song that Nick had been talking about for like a year, and we finally just started digging through folders and trying to review everything that we had in there. So, yeah, the purple reference is exactly that. Oh, man. Favorite color's a hard one. I mean, dark green. Depends. If I were to paint a hot rod, it'd be a midnight blue. Maybe some pearlescent in there. Black. I mean, I'm wearing it from head to toe right now.
Adam?
It's easy.
What is your favorite color?
Naya,
Blue. No, green.
Naya, my favorite color is the color of socks you decide to buy me for Christmas.
Ooh.
Nice.
So black.
Hey, black socks never get dirty.
Exactly.
Gotta get the
Just get
gold
black and
toes.
gray brown.
Gotta get the gold toes in there. They're nice.
Thank you,
socks.
kid. Love you.
Yeah, my toes are gold, but not because I bought them that way.
Nick, favorite color?
Well, green was always my favorite color growing up. I liked Yoda. I liked weed. But
That we already knew.
my mom's favorite color was blue, and ever since she passed, I'm like, you know what? My favorite color is blue now.
I do
So
a
it's
lot
blue.
of red and black, and gray. But yeah. So,
Yeah.
anyways, Jordan, what you got?
Red and black
Red and
together.
black. Yeah.
It's like if they're apart, it doesn't count.
Mm.
My
I also
favorite
like
color.
the Trailblazers.
Except for the
Who?
Trailblazers.
The Portland Trailblazers.
What?
I like them. And their colors are red, black, and white. So
Oh, I like baseball too.
baseball.
Did you see the alligator?
Have
over
you
there?
seen my baseball?
Okay, next question. Now that Brendan left, we'll go from this side. Well, this is kind of more of a group question. So, yes, black and yellow too, Naya.
Black and yellow, black and yellow.
That's exactly what she put in there.
That's what she wanted me to say.
Amber,
You win.
thank
The
you
color
for
of
your
your
question.
energy.
Um,
What?
Amber asked, what song did you guys struggle the most to write and create? Struggle with the most to write and create?
Like on this album or in life of all songs?
No. I
I'm
think.
gonna go with this album.
yeah, this album is probably Junkie Jack.
Well, so that's kind of an interesting one because Junkie Jack actually, that was one that we just kind of fell out. I wouldn't say we struggled with it to write it. We struggled to recreate it.
Okay.
Yeah, because we've been doing a lot of one and dones where we'll
Yeah.
jam something out and just flow just as beautiful, and then we try to recreate that. And it's like what?
Right.
Arr!
So
We getting we're way better at that. That was like
I don't
one of
know.
our first jammy jams.
Brendan.
honestly,
Can you ask that question really quick again
Yeah,
to
Brendan.
Brendan?
it was Brendan's riff, really. So
Yeah, but we've struggled a lot though on Junkie Jack in order to really dial that in. I know it fell out of our ass, so to speak, and we never had really much of a solid structure for it. But in order to try to record it, it was kind of one of those things where, all right, stop. We have to figure out how we're structuring this.
there's
You
a
know
lot
what
of
I mean?
stops. Yeah.
There
You know
was,
what I mean? Like-
and even, I
So
mean,
I would say Junkie Jack. That's my opinion.
to write and create, I definitely say it would be Junkie Jack on this album itself, but not just musically. Just Nick working out the
Yeah, the
pentameter of the lyrics with everything that's going on. It's a ballad. It is 10 minutes long. It has 2 breakdowns in it. It wasn't just the cadence or the tempo. There's a lot to it. And I think that because it was a little bit outside of the wheelhouse that most of the rest of the album was written on,
Nailed it there. Yeah.
there was a lot of personal growth for all 4 of us in that song.
That was good. Yeah, that's well put.
You know,
No,
when-
you're right. You're right. Honestly, what happened was most of the songs up until then, I had just kind of wrote and decided I'd go.
yeah.
Right. And then by here, we were growing as a band. We were saying, okay, let's try other people's stuff. Let's write some more songs for the album. And that's kind of exactly where one of the very first songs we ever did was like, I just stepped back and said, everybody else write the music, and I'll try to put some words to it. And that hadn't been happened yet on the album.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. That was the first one that was really collaborative altogether.
And we also did at the same time we were doing that, we were doing Flock Mentality, but that didn't make it.
Yeah, well, that didn't really have a character to it. I think that was the first song I really wrote lyrics to.
Mm-hmm.
Still not a huge fan of, but that's beside the point. To me, I would say Sunrise was actually more of a struggle to write and create, simply because it went through so many iterations of the riff. Like Nick brought in a riff and we played around with it. And that's actually where the name Sunrise originally came from, was the riff he brought in just slowly walked up the scale, and it reminded me of a sunrise, so I titled the jam Sunrise.
Okay, I don't know if I actually knew that.
Yeah, it was the very original riff. I'm half tempted to go dig back in the archives and find it, but essentially just walked up the scale, and like I said, it reminded me of the sunrise, and then we ended up changing it, and we added a second part, then we changed the first part again, and it went through probably 3 or 4 iterations, and somehow managed to keep the same name. I don't know why.
I think Kill and Fry, the 3 songs that you guys had nailed down before I started playing with you guys are probably the only 3 songs that did not go through numerous iterations.
That's probably true.
We spent hours and hours and hours playing and tweaking and adjusting and growing and learning ourselves, and it was really the development of us learning how to play with each other as well.
Absolutely.
Being that we all knew each other, but we all had different backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
And that background, Jordan's background is primarily metal. I come from punk alternative rock, some rock and roll. Hell, my first guitar was a Fender Strat, American made. I still have pieces of it. I think half of it's been farmed out for other projects. And the guitar that I started with you guys on, which was my SG, the black guitar that I play for most everything, my Pro.
Yep.
I'd had it for years, and most of the time it sat in the closet. My parents got that for me one year for Christmas, and I really hadn't been playing a whole lot or doing much of anything. I didn't have a project going at the time, and I hadn't for a number of years. And it was kind of like getting back on a bike for me. Like I knew it was there, but the hands didn't work like they used to. And
I actually remember you saying that. Yeah.
And it was really rough, but it was nice to get back into a room and start playing music with people again.
Yeah.
But being you guys Jordan had probably 6 months on me, maybe a little bit longer than that.
Yeah.
And you guys already kind of had your rhythm and your groove going as the trio, and I came in and I just kind of had to find that spot.
I'm glad you did, man, and that's exactly how it had to happen too. Really.
Yeah.
But I think at that time that's what happened. But again, by Junkie Jack, you were writing the riffs. We were playing off each other, and everybody had their own major parts to do, and that's what I'm really excited about this next album.
Yeah.
To be quite honest, is we're so farther along in our group writing that. Yeah.
But it's completely different. There's a lot more. There's a lot more to come, and it's a lot different than the initial
really
album. And I just lost what I was going to say. I introduced myself as a rhythm guitar player, but technically what I do is second. Jordan plays first guitar, I play second
That's
guitar.
fair, yeah.
Because not at all times do I play rhythm, and not all times does Jordan play lead.
True.
And
Very true.
it really depends on where we're at and what we're doing. There are times that Jordan is one hell of a solo guitarist. That man can definitely rip, but there are also times that I'll take front and center. I really don't like it. It's not something that I do often, but there are times that Jordan will take a back seat and I'll find some fill to put in, and it puts me in that lead guitar position, which is no longer a rhythm slot. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
we've written songs where I was playing bass for the first
That's true.
3 or 4 weeks while we were trying to hammer out a song. I would take the bass guitar and I'd play bass.
Thankfully, yes. As a 15 plus probably years playing bass and like 5 years singing while playing type of guy, like
It's
to
tough.
create, like I need that, really. I do.
Singing and playing together. is
I'm
tough.
just gonna try to keep moving forward on my vocals too. So
All right.
Gina asked us, what is a cover that each of us would love to do?
Ooh, that's
And
a good
I want to
question.
start with Jordan.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Oh man. The list goes on.
Covers, really? You?
Pick one.
You're
Well,
not a cover
there's-
guy. That surprises me.
I mean I am and I am it. I'm not. I am and I amn't. That's a word now. Amn't.
All right, well-
I am and I'm not, because covers for me are a hard thing, because in my opinion a cover should be something that is very discernibly the song that you're covering, and then also it should be your own. Basically, this reinterpretation that if Bomb in a Briefcase was to play a song, I don't know if you guys have heard our cover of Barbie Girl, but that's actually a really great example of that. We're playing the chords, we're singing the lyrics, the melody's the same, but it's very clearly a Bomb in a Briefcase song. And so,
Because it's very far from the original.
oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's what we'd like to do.
Deconstructed and reconstructed.
Exactly.
Right.
And so to me, that's what a cover should be. And so there's some covers that I would love to do, but I don't think my idea of what they would be as a cover would not really exist in the original song anymore. So to actually answer the question instead of avoiding it,
Sure. Yeah. I think that's what we want. Yeah.
By the way, choose your words carefully because I'm going to hold you to this.
I got 2.
This was loaded,
I'm
so
super excited.
Adam, you could pay Gina later for the question.
I know. Thank you. I really appreciate that question.
I am gonna have to go with Helter Skelter by the Beatles.
It has begun. This is what we're going to do.
It'll be done.
It will be done.
The look on Red's face though at first was
I
kind of
did not expect a
I did not
Beatles
either.
song from Jordan. I did
So-
not.
so-
but
Gina, I
Let-
really,
let
really,
me-
really thank you for that question. Thank you.
Let me break this down a little bit. Part of the reason why I chose Helter Skelter, because I'm sure you guys were all expecting Metallica or Slipknot or Korn or something like that.
I didn't think
you know what? In all fairness, no. And I figured you were going to pull something out of left field. And the only reason I say that is because I figured you were going to pick a song that we would have to deconstruct and put back together.
Well,
Yes,
but that's what I want to do with
yeah,
this.
we'd have
is,
to do that with this for sure.
I mean, Helter Skelter is kind of already a step into our realm of being probably one of the most aggressive Beatles songs out there. Twist and Shout, I feel like, would also fall into that category. Yeah, that would be a fun one to cover too.
I would be okay.
Anyways,
But
British
I want to
Invasion.
take Helter Skelter and turn it into like a punk rock, aggressive rock, heavy song that like
drop tone maybe a little bit.
All right.
yeah.
So we will take this this recommendation offline.
That was
Blind. My blind.
That was for you, Mike.
That's what I'm
and
working on.
Just
Blind.
remember, it is what it is.
By
as
Korn.
well.
What do you got?
Nick wants to do Blind by Korn.
That's my next one. I'm working on that. I got the
Deeper.
deeper as I journey to live a life that seems to be. Yeah, I'm working on
Okay.
that one.
For me, the only thing that really comes to mind is is the stuff that we had written down years ago on our cover list, and one of the things that we were talking about was Godzilla.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I want to do Green Eyed Lady too. If we're gonna go old school, I want to do Green Eyed Lady.
Who the hell was that? Who the hell does Godzilla?
Godzilla,
It's is it not Blue Oyster
Godzilla.
Cult? No, Deep Purple. Sorry.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was Deep Purple. Anyways, yes, Godzilla.
Red.
So,
God damn it! If you say a Taylor Swift song,
oh man,
oh my
Oh, I
gosh,
love me
So-
some Tay Swift. Don't talk
don't
shit
you
about my
talk about
girlfriend.
my
That-
teaser?
yeah, that's my
Whoa,
girlfriend.
that's my
That-
future ex-wife right there. Don't you
We're gonna
start
share.
with me.
anybody out there? I have nothing against Taylor Swift, by the way.
In some ways, that'd be a lot of
so
fun.
I'm in Jordan's boat, and as Nick mentioned earlier, I listen to many genres of music, and
right.
one of the things that I really enjoy is the total deconstruction of a song and put back together. Prime examples of that would be the later albums of Punk Goes Pop, where you've got a bunch of hardcore or bubblegum hardcore or even screamo emo bands taking over pop songs, and I love it. I really do.
Sure. Yeah.
So
me too. I do like that too.
I think Timber by Pitbull would be an awesome song to break down and just chug through.
I
that
don't
would
know
be-
what that song is.
Oh, I will play it for
I
you
don't know what
later,
that
and you
song
know
is.
exactly what song
yeah,
that
you've
is.
heard it.
Either that, or, and I said I had two, any song by Taylor Swift.
I'm old.
That was
I don't know shit.
literally the second thing that came to mind.
Love me some Tay Swift. Yeah, I would do that. I'm all on board. So good question. Thank you, Gina.
We have another question from Naya here, which reminds me, if anyone else has questions, feel free to throw them in there. Please, we'll keep answering questions as long as you guys keep asking them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
if you guys got
favorite-
questions,
Favorite
100%.
memories creating the album. Naya wants
Ooh,
to know
that's a
what
good
our
one.
favorite
That's a good
memories are.
Whoa,
be right
wait,
back.
wait, say that again.
Naya wants to
Naya-
know what our favorite memories are creating the album.
Yeah.
So we're gonna hold off for a second until Nick gets back, and the only reason is I need help telling the story because although I was there, I wasn't there. It involves a chicken sandwich from McDonald's at Sandra Court.
With Alex Brown?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
I already know
remember
where this is
now.
going, yeah.
Oh man.
So
Yeah.
for most of you,
So,
yeah,
well, do you want me to start then?
yeah, you can start.
Okay. So generic, my answer is just the personal growth over the entire 3 years it took us to put that album on metaphorical tape. It was actually really cool looking back, being able to look back and go, dang, we really have grown, we have gotten better. Seeing Adam so pissed off at Slaughterhouse, and then 2-3 weeks later he gets it. Seeing Brendan being pissed off at All About Me, and 3 weeks later he gets it.
Every song we had.
Well, that
I
too.
guess.
I mean, specifically memories. There's a number of memories from Bongo Fury, which is the rehearsal studio in Beaverton. For those of you that have never heard of it, that we had rented a space at for a while after Adam had moved out of his house on Sandra's Court, where we were playing originally, into a filing cabinet in Beaverton. So we were playing at Bongo Fury, and the random other people that you'd run into in there were hilarious. Shout out to New World Aviation Committee and
Muff Pistol, Dragon Ass.
Yeah, Dragon Ass. all
And
those-
Will with the broken mirror.
Yeah, good old Will.
Industrial Will.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought he was going to kidnap
know-
me one time, but thankfully I survived.
Chris from Bongo.
Yeah.
Good old
Uh,
Chris.
A guy
And
runs
Fire Marshal Bill, who made us
Oh yeah.
take the
So,
room down. But anyways,
We'll go with that story. So as part of the fire marshal came through and said there couldn't be anything on the walls, and of course people had put carpet on the walls for sound purposes. The room that we had rented had come pre-foamed with on the walls.
So hold on for a second. When Bongo was originally put in, when Chris originally put Bongo together, the city of Beaverton and the fire marshal had approved it as more than just a storage location. And ever since then, and a change in fire marshal, he's been fighting the city and has to go through fairly routine inspections, and say they're probably every 2 years or so. And we were required to make it look like we were only storing equipment in there and we were not using equipment. So everything had to be unplugged. We couldn't have anything hooked up. So
and the way the sprinklers worked in the rooms, they went to the walls and went down. So anything on the walls prevented the sprinklers from working properly. So everything had to be pulled off the walls. Which I won't go into detail on this one, but we found some interesting things behind the foam on our walls. We'll tell that story a different time.
there were some very drunken quotes written on some of those foam tiles
That too. That was pretty hilarious. So we decided that our room had already been painted black, and we decided to recoat the room in black. So we go into Home Depot, and we ask the paint lady, the lady working the paint counter, we need flat black interior paint. Lady's like, okay.
And it was like 5 minutes before closing,
yeah, it was,
too.
we
were running it down to the wire.
Yeah, I think it was like 9:55 at night, and the lady's like, really? These punks. So she's like, the only flat black we have is this. Great. Awesome. Thank you. Flat black paint. Oh, it's Rust-Oleum brand. Great. That's a good brand of paint. Pff, awesome. Thank you. Have a nice night.
We're talking about painting Bongo Fury.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're talking
my
about
God. It
So-
smelled for like weeks.
Hold on.
man.
Hold on, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Don't steal my thunder,
Jesus.
Nick. So we go and we crack open these cans of paint, and we're painting away, and we're like, man, this paint is pretty stinky. This paint is really stinky. So we take a look at the can. It's industrial, like, metal paint.
It was industrial grade paint.
Yeah.
And the best part is we'd gotten done with like one wall, and it was kicking in. Like, we're huffing paint fumes in this little,
So
what was
bad.
it?
12 by
12
12
by
room.
12 by 10 or 12 by
12 by
12
12 by
room.
yeah.
10 room.
And the other bands, like, there's people banging on our door complaining about the paint fumes. Like, in New World Aviation Committee, the one kid opened the door and he stuck his head in the room and just started huffing it.
Oh,
And then the other guy
you
comes
guys
by,
are
he's
having
like,
a great
"What's
time in
going
here."
on?" And yeah, he was like, "Oh, it's a free high," and the kid rips him out of the door frame and sticks his head in there. And we're out in the parking lot having a cigarette. You know, I'm standing out there smoking. The one guy from Dragon Ass is complaining, and he goes, "Yeah, this and that, and I've painted for a long time. And are you sure it doesn't say industrial on it?" And I'm like, "Man, no. I asked her for interior home, all right." And we get back in there, and I
Clearly
pick the can
says
up, and I look at
industrial.
it,
Like,
and it
oh,
says industrial in
shit.
huge letters across it.
I wasn't here for any of that either. Like, I remember coming in later, and you guys are like, "No, let's just see what he does." I'm like, "Whoa!"
It was so bad. It was so bad.
I was so sick by the
Yeah.
time I got done painting that last wall.
Never
I was in
mind,
the
Chris
parking lot
comes in and
dry
says,
heaving.
"What the hell are you guys doing?" Dude, there's people in here like this. It reeks throughout the whole entire freaking
Yeah,
room.
Like
we made
warehouse.
the
Warehouse.
entire
The
warehouse.
entire
was-
Everybody got
Like
over it,
paint
though.
fumes.
Everybody got over it. It was
It was
really
so
cool.
bad.
By the end, you guys did a really good job, though. There was like red. You guys did like this red splatter.
The splatter,
non-industrial
It was
paint.
really
up on the
cool.
walls
We made that place our home. I was
So-
pretty
It was good.
air
So,
conditioner.
The
we hooked
question
up.
is from Naya, what is our
Favorite memories of recording the album.
Recording this album.
And that's what was it you or
That was
That was
mine.
J-Dog's.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, Bongo was we started at Sandra Court.
Do you have a favorite memory from this album?
I mean, my biggest memories, I would say, I don't know if I have a favorite, but my biggest memories are writing in that living room, in that rental, right? Writing songs in that living room and playing in that living room. We had the neighbor's dog got out and just came. We like our
Oh,
sliding
yeah.
glass was open because it was hot in there. And this little
Oh,
wiener
yeah.
dog just comes running right in. We're in the middle of playing.
Yeah, that's
Forgot
right. I
about
forgot about
And we were
that.
like, what the? Somebody's dog
Like,
jumped
who-
right up on the
whose
couch.
dog
On
is
this
this?
couch, I think.
Yeah, it probably was this guy.
I think it was this couch. Jumped right up on
yeah,
the
yeah,
couch.
yeah.
And it's just like, and we're in the middle of playing, and we're like, oh shit, we better stop. Better stop. And then and Jordan hop in his car with this dog and start driving around the streets looking to see whose dog it was. That was one time. I mean, Bongo Fury. There's so many crazy
Oh, yeah.
nights at Bongo Fury recording, and just all the cool characters.
Oh, and Drummer
Muff
Boy.
Pistol.
Muff
Drummer
Pistol
Boy.
drunk after their show.
Oh,
The one
man,
guy from Muff
jeez.
Pistol just walked into our room while we were playing.
Yeah.
He was just like watching us play, and we get done. He's like, "Oh, you're good." And the other guy he pokes his head in and just grabs him by the arm and rips him out. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. You know, you guys should probably lock your door." We're all looking at each other like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
Yeah, we
Like,
started locking the door after that.
I
too.
thought
we
it
did.
was-
Sure did.
I thought it was your buddy. No, I thought it was
Yeah, I knew.
your buddy that was
Yeah.
supposed to come in that day.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there playing. This guy opens up the door, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that guy. Okay, cool. Whatever else, blah, 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 blah. And after the song was done, I'm like, all right, so what's up? And everybody's kind of like, same kind of sentiment I have. Like,
Who's
Who's
this guy?
who
this
the
guy?
fuck is this guy?
Well, yeah, I knew a couple different people who had rooms at Bongo Fury, and they'd come and stop by. Different
Right,
guys
right.
from high school. Dylan Andrus, he's playing currently. He plays drums right now. He just did a show a couple nights ago. It was pretty good. Twinkie, our buddy Nick.
Oh, yeah,
Nick-
Twinkie.
Yeah,
Remember Twinkie.
I don't know. I don't know if I should say that, but you know, I had some buddies there. Yeah, that like would come and say hi to us and stuff. So Bongo Fury was a lot of fun. That was a huge
It was
thing.
good.
But like the drummer next door, they would just
Drummer
ju-
Boy.
Oh,
drummer boy,
Drummer
just
Boy.
all
Oh, right,
day.
right.
We're trying to
Man,
record.
you guys
Metronome.
were
Metronome.
completely.
to a
Needed, like,
metronome, just tick.
bribe this
Tick.
guy
You're
to stop
stealing
playing
all
so
of
we
my
could
shit.
record.
He was training
Like-
to become a session drummer, so he would sit there and listen to a metronome and hit his snare drum in time with the metronome for 8
You know what, Naya?
hours a
My
day.
favorite memory of recording the album is you coming in and lending your vocal tracks
The intro.
Yes.
to the intro of the
Yes.
album.
Thank you,
Oh,
Naya.
I thought you were going to talk about the narwhal situation.
I was going to talk
Almost
about
made
that,
it
but
to
that
the
doesn't have
album.
anything to do with
Almost
the
did.
album, though.
Almost did.
Although, Naya, you little shit,
Plagiarism is bad.
hey,
Okay.
go write a song for us. Get out of here. Go do your thing. Yeah, okay, great. That sounds fantastic. And come back a few minutes later with this Narwhal song, and we're like, oh, well, that's
All
kind of
right.
cool.
Wholesome, right? Like,
Yeah, that's
like-
neat.
it's
All
like
right, we're
6-year-old
going to
kid
make a
wrote
song
this
out of
song.
this, and we did. And then lo and behold, we find out that it was actually plagiarized. You little
Yeah,
shit.
Funny.
But no,
And that day,
my
we learned a lesson
okay,
about plagiarism.
aside from all these guys with their awesome stories that
Yeah,
yes,
what
I
you got?
do agree they're great memories. You coming in and lending your help for the vocal tracks for the intro to the Nickel
Yes.
show with the circus tent basically.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah, our intro track on the album. If you haven't listened to that, there are voices of
Laughter
all of
and
us.
all sorts of other stuff. Naya's voice is in there too.
Yes, I believe there's a spot where it's rather loud too. I believe I did that. on
She does a
purpose.
cough to clear the throat. What about you, Rez?
So if I were to summarize my finest moment recording this album, it would be the night that I drank that pint of cheap whiskey and I ate the chicken patty out of Alex Brown's sandwich. only the chicken patty out of his McDonald's sandwich.
Browdy Sam.
It was a Wendy's burger, I
Wendy-
believe, but
And
You
you know,
didn't put it back in there.
I
for-
just put the whole damn thing back in the box and acted like nothing ever happened. And then it came out and he's like, who ate the chicken patty out of my
Who the
sandwich?
fuck?
And everybody's looking at each other like, what is going on?
Like,
and I
that
was like,
couldn't have been real. Maybe they gave it to you like that. And the Red's like, no, it was me.
Just the chicken patty.
oh, it was great. It was great.
he was more mad that I ate just the patty out of it and not the whole damn sandwich.
What am I supposed to do with the rest of this?
All right, guys.
I forgot about that.
What else do we need to talk about? Like, because we're way over time, but
we're half hour over.
let's
Who's
talk.
watching this anyway, honestly?
What's that?
Who's going to be watching this to the end anyway?
I don't know. There's people, maybe.
Still 7
There are-
people
yeah.
watching.
We're fluctuating between 7 and 9 viewers.
Let's talk about our music videos that we got coming out soon here.
Yeah, music videos. Michael
Well,
Pritchard,
maybe
thank you
not
very
soon,
much.
but
Mike,
music
you're a
videos coming.
freaking awesome
Yes,
person.
thank you,
And
Mike.
I love you very
Thank
much.
you.
And for you to take on this behemoth of a project that we're asking of you is super, super awesome.
Yeah, not
So,
easy to do, and we're pretty much like all just like spending out of our pocket. And speaking of that, I think we are going to be looking for actors and actresses who are interested in being in the music video. If you think you could come out and lend a hand for little to nothing, or just getting the chance to hang out with us to be in a music video, you never know, because Michael Pritchard is the next up-and-coming director. He went to Portland Art Institute. He's made a bunch of stuff. He's got a movie on Netflix, Ensemble. You could watch that. And he's making our movies and our videos, and so I think they're gonna be good. And basically our idea was every video or every song needs a video, and it's gonna tell the whole story of our album from beginning to end. And they're gonna be good, man.
Yeah,
they're gonna be good. I'm really excited. The model that Jordan spent months working on, and that's gonna be a part of it. I can't wait to incorporate some of that into our intro for our live streams. But
sections of it have been broken numerous times and repaired numerous times, and
it just looks
days of painting and planning and organizing, and
I've stared at it for so many weeks and months now that it just feels so real. Like I feel like I'm just looking at like a part of our world. So I can't wait for everybody else to see that.
it's crazy to think that just started as layers of plywood.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I will eventually put up like a progression like slideshow or something on Instagram, but there are definitely pictures up on Instagram. I don't know if I ever put a final pic up there on Instagram.
I'm pretty sure you
There's
did.
tons
I think
of
I did.
footage of it.
Yeah.
So
Either way, I'll post some more on Instagram and you
I
can
wanna
take a
shoot
look at it.
the final music video though, that's gonna be great.
my
And so we
AR,
can thank Michael Pritchard for that, and we're very excited. Other than that, new album. Hopefully, we're working on. We've got I don't know how many songs you think we got done so far.
Done 0.
Done songs?
Half the
No,
album maybe
because we know-
written at least.
You know what? This is going to go just like recording the prices. Let me explain to you how recording the price, and this is probably my second favorite memory from you individuals. We got into recording the price, and then you go,
Oh,
have you been playing that
Oh,
that
yeah.
way the entire time? I was like, yeah. I thought that's what we were doing. And you're like, no.
No.
I was like, oh, okay, thanks. Like, we've been doing this for months, and nobody told me I was doing it wrong. So right before I go in to record the price in the living room of Sonder Court, you're like, you're an idiot. But
Yeah,
I think
sorry,
as far as starting the recording process, we're probably 6 songs deep.
man.
But I think
Yeah.
that in the
Yeah.
process of that, there's going to still be alterations, modifications, and there's
Oh, yeah.
still going to be a lot that we're gonna change.
Probably gonna end up with about 20 songs to choose from.
I mean,
the way
we
we're going.
recorded the Nickel Show 3 separate times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had it right, because that's
Yep.
kind of it's got little nuances about the song that
Oh yeah. No, and I mean
simple but difficult.
we'd start recording and then we'd get frustrated with it and not happy with the way it turned out, and then we'd try it again, start recording again, and then finally, when we were in Bongo Free, we were just like, nope, we're doing it now. This is what's happening.
Even now, I would fight everybody again to just try to
No.
record the whole album another time.
I refuse.
Yeah.
bottom line is this
Forever,
next
right?
album coming up is
Yeah, it's gonna
It's
I
gonna be
had
different.
like I don't know where the muse came from, but I've had this this crazy desire to write, and this weird inspiration or whatever from to write. Jordan as well, and I try to take a lot of inspiration from the macabre, from weird stories and various situations that are just kind of like off kilter, if you will, and because that's kind of my thing or whatever, as well as reading stories in the newspaper, and I'm like, hey Jordan, write something about that, but
yeah.
nevertheless,
That's a good point.
this next album coming up, we have a lot of different things, a lot of weird shit that we want to write about, or we want to record. So Anyways,
Screen. Yeah, no. So what's cool about this album coming up is that, no offense, Nick, very little of this was written by Nick. So it'll be an interesting juxtaposition against the two. You've got the one that the first album that Nick basically wrote all by himself, and then this album, which is much more written by different people.
lyrically, by the way,
Lyrically and musically too.
Yeah, no, I mean, no offense taken. I honestly,
Good.
it's just a natural progression of the band.
Absolutely.
You know, like when we first started, we just needed material, and I just started cranking stuff out, and that's why I think I really like that. Everybody was willing to stick with a majority of the stuff that I did write in the beginning to kind of push this album out. Even though we had other stuff, everybody else were working on, everybody else wrote. You know, we had Dust, you know, we had Flock. We had a bunch of different stuff that we all kind of contributed to, but it didn't make it to the album because we wanted it to have that continuity.
Yeah.
And so I'm proud of that, and I'm thankful for you guys to give me that opportunity, and almost on purpose because of that, I really wanted to have the next album be very open to everybody's input. So every single song had a little piece of everybody, and I'm really happy about it. I'm really proud of how we've grown, and I'm really excited to show that next album and how much better it is. And even though I love the Nickel Show and I want to keep promoting that and I want everybody to buy it and listen to it, I can't wait to show you what we're working on next. And if I can, happy birthday again, Mike. If I can bribe Mike to maybe just make a one or two, like a single, the main single for the album. And maybe two music videos for the next album. That's what I would like to do, and that's it. That's all we're gonna do.
I have a very specific idea for Dreams, with black light.
That'd be cool.
I have a very specific
All right.
idea for Dreams with black light on a video.
So for music video's sake, thank you for everybody who volunteered in this list right here. I really appreciate it. Naya said I already volunteered. Araya said I'm down if you need somebody. Zane said he'd be in it too if you needed. I'll bribe you with beer and a video, said Gina. So I'm going to hold you to that. Don't forget. We'd like PBR. I'll drink a Guinness if it's St. Patty's Day.
Sweet.
So, you know, we're definitely going to need people for the first album. And we're going to potentially, I don't know what we're going to do for videos for the next album, but we're gonna need people. So I really thank you guys. Love you very much. Appreciate that. I will definitely hold each one of you. I'm gonna hold this like as a contract. I'm gonna just take a screenshot, and you're locked in now.
All right. So what else do we have to talk about before we have to hang up?
I think that's it, man. Really, like the next album's coming out. It's gonna be good. And thank you guys for coming. If we don't have any other questions,
well, yeah. If you have questions, I'm gonna throw a little plug in here. So queue them up. Let's do this. We got a little bit of time left, so ask more questions. Real quick plug, merch is still available. If you just go to our website, click the merch link. Our actual merch URL is ridiculously long, and I despise it.
So just go to www.bombinabriefcase.com
and click the BIAB merch link. There will be chicken in a paper bag merch dropping soon up there as well. I'm going to make that happen now.
Thank you for this live stream and Sean Harmon for that idea. Yeah.
I might just have to dust off Hang On Harrison since I still have the graphics
I would wear that shirt. Where is Harrison anyway? Get his butt over here. We love you, buddy.
Yeah. Harry. Also, a little reminder, if you don't have a physical copy of our CD yet, feel free to get one. If you buy a physical copy through CD Baby, the first 5 people get a signed album. Don't tell anyone, though.
It's a secret.
It's a secret.
So we have not sold any of those 5 albums from CD Baby yet? We sent that in like 2 years ago, guys.
Yeah, but I mean, anybody who was going to buy a CD bought them from us. So.
Exactly.
They did. Well, that's cool. But just, who doesn't want to have a CD mailed to you?
A signed
from us.
CD.
Signed. One of a kind.
And I'm pretty sure it was of the...
Fine swine, wishy was mine,
I
Zuckerman's name is big.
Posted on Instagram when we did it, too.
Yeah.
So it was, like, not very secretive.
All right, y'all. I'm out.
All right, well, it sounds like we're going to wrap up.
Love
Yep.
you all.
No more questions. Thank you everybody for attending. We
One more thing.
appreciate it.
Send us your ideas, and anybody who sees this video after the live feed too, just comment.
Post stuff.
We will take your comments into consideration
Absolutely.
posthumously. That means after it was funny.
Absolutely.
And I think we're kind of still looking for a name for the next album. So it might be fun to just weed through some names, and
Yep.
we'll talk about that next live stream.
Heck yeah.
And my last thing, give us some feedback on this.
Yeah,
this is
please.
Was this okay or what?
yeah,
Is this weird?
we're winging it, and this is we normally live stream the music. We normally live stream
This
us
is
playing, and
this is the real BIAB.
yeah, this is
No scripts.
yeah. So give us some feedback and let us know what you think.
Hey,
All right.
thanks Amber for being with us to the
Yes,
end.
thank you, Amber.
Thank you, Naya.
Naya, we
Sean,
may just
thank
have to
you.
do that.
Gina, we will make a juggalo smuggalo thing if you don't mind. We will do that.
Zane and Araya.
Zane,
thank
Araya,
you.
thank you guys. Hey, I really appreciate the turnout. You
Yeah.
guys make me feel very loved, and I love you all. And so we hope to see you soon. We're gonna try to do barbecue one of these days soon. Weather's
Yeah.
getting nice. Let's do some jams. All right, guys. Love you. Good night.